Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Dwayne Kimball, United States Army veteran and retired VA rating specialist. Today I'm bringing another educational video as it pertains to the VA disability compensation claims process. In today's video, I'm going to be discussing 1151 claims. Now, out of hundreds of videos I've done, I've never talked about 1151 claims. So if you had treatment or surgery or something along that lines at your local VA medical center and they screwed it up, you want to stick around and hear what I have to share with you today. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and jump right into it. As you know, I got some slides for you. I have about 5 slides that I'm going to share with you. Now, 1151 claims. Now, as a former VA rating specialist trained by the VA, you don't hear about 1151 claims that often. Out of the hundreds of videos that I've done, I never touched on this subject. And I was like, you know what? Let me go out to the VA's website, do some research to see what has changed, okay? Now, towards the end of this video, I'm gonna share with you how many 1151 claims I rated as a VA rater and how many I granted, okay? But let's go ahead and get into it. So, what is the VA's definition for 1151 claims? The VA's definition for 1151 claims, as you see on the screen, 1151 compensation is a payment for additional disability or death that is proximately caused by VA fault or an event not reasonably foreseeable in the provision of VA hospital care, medical or surgical treatment or examination, or the individual's participation in vocational rehabilitation services or compensated work therapy. That's known as voc rehab. I'm not going to touch on 1151 as it pertains to voc rehab, only the first bullet comment. Now, to give you an example, while we're looking at this where it says care, medical, or surgical treatment, when I was a rating specialist, I heard about a veteran going in for surgery to amputate his leg due to his diabetes, okay? The diabetes was out of control and they had to amputate one of his legs. I can't remember if it was the right or left leg, but what I do remember is the VA amputated the wrong leg. And then they had to go back and amputate the other leg, okay? So the veteran filed 1151 claim, and as you can see, care, medical, or surgical treatment. That was the surgical treatment. And it was the VA's fault. So he was granted compensation on the 1151, okay? Now, told you I had several slides. Let's keep it going. Slide number 1. Here is the M21 manual reference. Now, as I went through the M21 manual reference, there was a ton of information. So if you were thinking about filing an 1151 claim, don't ask me a comment or question. You have to go out to the VA's website, do your own research. I'm only telling you about this benefit if you feel you fall in that category, but there's still additional information out there you need to review. Okay, so it says basic criteria for entitlement to compensation under 38 U.S.C. 1151. 1151 provides for the payment of compensation for additional disability or death that is proximately caused by a Department of Veterans Affairs, hospital care, medical or surgical treatment, or examination associated with an instance of fault on the part of VA in furnishing care or an event not reasonably foreseeable. So similar to what I just read to you, okay? So as you go through this M21 manual reference, this is not law. It's just a reference, but look down at the bottom. Do you see these 38 CFRs? Okay, you write those down and go out and continue to do your research. That's what I like about the M21 manual reference. It's easier to do the search which will lead you to the 38 CFR or court case. Also, keep in mind, I am not sharing the entire manual reference in these slides, okay? I'm just giving you part of the information I think that's going to be more beneficial, okay? Let's keep going. Slide number 2. Here in slide number 2, type of care considered under 38 USC 1151, okay? And it states, for the purpose of 1151, the types of care that can cause the disability or death include hospital care, medical or surgical treatment, or examination. Now, some of these M21 manual references, some of the information in there, it kind of overlaps each other. You know, it overlaps each M21 manual reference. And again, when I went out and did my research, there is a ton of information on 1151, okay? Now, this particular M21, I didn't copy everything, okay? But I took some key points. So you can see hospital care is a bullet, not a bullet, but in bold, and then medical or surgical treatment. So let's go with hospital care. The term hospital care encompasses at a minimum services unique to the hospitalization of patients. But what do I have highlighted in red? Including nature of services, degree of VA control over patient freedom, mental and physical condition of patient, and foreseeability of potential harm, okay? Then it goes on to describe medical or surgical treatment. The term treatment is defined as the institution of measures or the giving of remedies designed to cure a disease, okay? Then it gives a medical dictionary. Then the second bullet comment, the management and care of patient for the purposes of combating diseases or disorder. Now, I know this sounds boring. So basically what the VA is saying, if you go and you get treatment, care, surgery, whatever, and they screw something up, you can file an 1151 claim. Let's keep going. Slide number 3. Here in slide number 3, establishing proximate cause due to VA care for 1151 claims. For a grant of compensation under 1151, the evidence must show that the proximate cause of disability or death resulting from VA hospital care, medical or surgical treatment, or examination was a result of an instance of the fault on part of VA, such as careless, negligence, lack of proper skill, or error in judgment. Now, you may say, Dwayne, well, wait a minute. You stated earlier that you rated 1151 claims. So how is this determined? Towards the end, I'm going to explain it when I talk about the 1151 claims that I rated, okay? Let's keep going. Slide number 4. Here in slide number 4, disability resulting from premature discharge. Okay, so these next 2 slides, you know, I kind of stumbled across them. I was like, you know what? Yeah, I want to put these in the video. So if you are discharged prematurely, compensation may be payable under 1151 when a physician determines that a patient should be discharged from a hospital after a period of treatment, but the patient claims that the discharge was too early and led to relapse and worsening of the disability. Okay, last slide, slide number 5. Disability resulting from medication. Compensation is payable under 1151 for a disability caused by medication that was prescribed by VA and taken or administered as prescribed if the disability was directly due to fault on the part of the VA or an incident that could not have been reasonably foreseen. So that is a lot of information to dissect. Like I stated earlier, if you feel you meet any of this criteria, go out to the VA's website. I would suggest starting with the M21 manual reference first, because when you type in 1151 and you do your search, a lot of information is going to come up. That's where you're going to start to do your research. Now, as a prior former retired VA rating specialist. How many 1151 claims did I rate? Not many. Probably could count on one hand how many I rated. You don't see these a lot, but I do remember this. I only granted one. One. Now, how is that determined? Raters are not medical professionals. Yeah, we're looking at all the evidence, right? But what happens is when the veteran files that claim, there's certain development that we have to do. One of the things we have to do is go out, get a copy of the operative report. Also, we're looking at the consent form that the veteran signed before having, let's say, surgery, okay? Now, once we get it, we have to send it to a different VA medical center than the treatment surgery that was done for that particular veteran. And that doctor at another VA medical center has to look at that information and make a determination. Yes, the VA doctor at the other VA medical center screwed up and have to state why. I only granted one. Now, what can you do as a veteran to help bolster your claim? Because you got to think about it. Is one VA doctor going to say the other VA doctor was wrong? If the doctor was wrong, I would hope that the other VA doctor would say yes. But the jury's still out on that one. Now, what can you do? Get that same information and have a third-party doctor that has nothing to do with the VA make a decision. And you can submit that as evidence. Now, I'm not saying that it's guaranteed and it's going to get approved, but if it doesn't, you could take that before a judge and maybe it could be overturned. You might even want to go a step further and say, okay, not only get one doctor to look at it, get another doctor, independent doctor, to look at it. And if both of them say yes, that should hold more weight over the VA doctor if the VA doctor says no. So you go before that judge, now you just raised reasonable doubt. So again, there's a lot of information on 1151 claims. If you feel you fall under this criteria, go out, invest the time, do the research, do the research, do the research. A lot of information out there. So with that being said, make sure you like, subscribe, hit that notification button, and as always, share this video with your fellow veterans. Thank you.